Om Shanti, heartful greetings, respected elders and dear brothers and sisters. A heartful welcome to this session today, where we are going to read the profound wisdom in the Bhandara message. We are going to all read it all together and feel the vibrations that are embedded behind this profound message by revered, beloved Daaji. When the heart hears, the mind sees the art of right understanding. Dear friends, when love flows, understanding blooms. There's a quiet insight that has been visiting me often these days. When there is right understanding, everything settles. Discord dissolves, friction fades, and complexity untangles itself like a thread slipping free from a knot. This truth indirectly conveys the effectiveness of cleaning via igniting true understanding. So, one word to really notice here is that cleaning is important, the practice of cleaning, and it ignites true understanding. Okay, we still have to be vigilant, spiritually vigilant in our behaviors, in our attitude and thought process throughout the day. The wisdom behind making the sankalp, the heartfelt resolve of correct thinking and right understanding, helps us crystallize the concepts. It isn't a casual pairing of words, it's an intimate dance. One might assume that correct thinking leads to right understanding, and in many ways it does. But look closely, and you will see that the reverse is truer. So, we have been hearing this line since childhood that correct thinking leads to right understanding. But here, Master is asking us to look closely, and we will find that if we just are trying to think correctly, we might be just living in the mind and the intellect. Right understanding shapes and refines thought. They are not separate steps on a ladder, but two wings of the same bird. Modern neuroscience confirms what saints intuited. The heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. Coherent heart rhythms foster clarity in the prefrontal cortex, the seat of complex reasoning. Thus, love first, thought later is not merely poetic, it is psychologically precise. Love as the root of understanding. Now, what fosters right understanding? You might say emptiness. When the mind is free from emotional charge and the heart is not weighed down by past impressions, there is a space for understanding to take root. And you'd be partially right. But emptiness alone is not fertile soil. Love is what gives it life. We often believe that understanding precedes love. Once I understand, I will love you. But life teaches us something far more tender. It is love that enables right understanding. When we love someone, our vision softens, our judgments melt, and we begin to see things as they are, not as we are or we wish them to be. This is the beginning of understanding. We tend to think of understanding as a mental process, but in truth, it begins in the heart. Its source is the heart. Its destination is the mind. Love flows from the heart, and when it meets a mind free of ego and bias, it becomes insight. Now, if we read this line in a reverse manner, we will discover few things that we have to really think about the line ego and bias. A mind which is free from ego and bias. And that is where it becomes an insight. Let us read it again. Love flows from the heart, and when it meets a mind free from ego and bias, it becomes insight. It's like a stream finding its way to a quiet lake, clear, calm, and deep. This reminds me of a parable I read some time ago. There once was a monk who lived in a small hermitage nestled in the hills. Each morning, he would clean the window overlooking the valley so he could see the sunrise clearly. One day, a traveler came by and asked him, "Why do you waste time cleaning this window every morning? The sun rises whether you see it or not." The monk smiled and said, "True, but the window is not for the sun to shine through. It is for me to receive the light. If the window is dirty, I mistake shadows for shapes and clouds for storm." In life, our hearts are like that window. When love cleanses them, we see people as they truly are, not as we fear or assume them to be. That is right understanding. Let us pause and introspect this truth. Love leads to understanding. Can it be that lack of love will lead to misunderstanding? And that is what usually happens, People who have had past hurt, traumas, their heart is wounded, and they spill the blood of that wound on the people who are around them in the present moment, who truly love and care for them and are their well wishers. And let us now explore how misunderstandings in everyday life affect our relationships and quality of life. But what clouds this window? What blocks the heart's flow? Bias, conditioning, the cobwebs of old wounds and rigid opinions. These become barriers. Consider this: a young couple, she's feeling overwhelmed. He's quiet after a long day. She sends him a heartfelt message, opening about her emotions. He replies with just one line, "Okay, we will talk later." She feels hurt. Her mind fills in the blanks. He doesn't care, but he's thinking. I want to respond when I can really be present. Both hearts are seeking connection, but misunderstanding sneaks in through the narrow gaps of assumption. Only when they sit together, eye to eye, heart to heart, does the fog lift. I thought you didn't care, she says. I was waiting to be fully present, he replies. And just like that, the air clears. Or imagine a mother watching her teenage son withdraw, spending more time alone. She worries, is he hiding something? Or being disrespectful? Tension rises until one evening she enters his room, not with judgment, but with quiet presence. She sits beside him and simply says, I'm here. He opens up. I'm feeling lost. I don't know who I am anymore. I didn't want to burden you. In that moment, love untangles the misunderstanding. She realizes his silence was vulnerability, not defiance. He realizes her concern was care, not control. Sometimes care, even by parents, even by a mentor, or by a well-wisher, is thought to be control, but it is not. Most of the times it's care. These moments show us that right understanding is not about agreement. It's about seeing clearly beyond ourselves into the heart of another. It begins with love. It flows unimpeded by ego. And when it meets thought, it creates clarity. Listening, the bridge between love and understanding. Love enters through the air before it settles in the heart. Right understanding rarely dawns in a monologue. It is born in the luminous silence that follows attentive listening. And here let us notice the term, beautiful term, which Revered Master has used, luminous silence. Silence can illumine the ignorance too. And that is what attentive listening is all about. When we listen without rehearsing a reply, the other person's inner meaning clicks into place inside us, like two tuning forks resonating. Listening then is not passive but an active offering of spaciousness. And we have heard this line that listen with an intent of listening and understanding, not just waiting to immediately reply. Okay? And that's what is written here. Listen without rehearsing a reply. That is something very, very important. That is why God gave us 2 ears, isn't it? And one mouth, a tongue, which facilitates speaking, but that is also zipped and closed by lips and by teeth, because it doesn't have bone, but it breaks heart sometimes of people. Humility, the gate that keeps the window clean. If love is the water that rinses the heart window, humility is the hand that keeps wiping it day after day. Pride fogs the glass faster than anger. A humble posture, I may not yet see the full picture, prevents impressions from crystallizing the moment they arise. Humility is preemptive cleaning. So, cleaning is not just the method, the process that we follow when we sit for 20 to 30 minutes in the evening. Having a humble heart and humility is also cleaning. And that can happen all throughout the day once we have humility. The cleaning process can happen all throughout the day. And pride is more dangerous than anger. Pride fogs the glass faster than anger. This is where the practice of cleaning becomes so meaningful. Through cleaning, We gently remove the impressions, the samskars, the residues of past experiences that cloud the heart's window, paving the way to look into the infinity of the sky. Each evening, as we sit in silence and let go, we are not just releasing heaviness, we are restoring clarity. In a non judgmental affirmation, we lighten the field of consciousness. With every layer that dissolves, the heart becomes lighter, more open, more attuned. Biases fade. Old reactions lose their grip, and into that space, love flows more naturally. From that love arises correct thinking, fluid, fresh, and unconditioned. And from there, right understanding dawns quietly and unmistakably. So, that kind of an understanding, which is unconditioned, from where the love flows more naturally, can never create a mistake. When the heart is clean, love is effortless. And then what's the opposite? When the heart is not clean, it takes so much of effort trying to even love the things or to give back that love even to our loved ones. And when love flows, understanding flows. So if a person is lacking love, if you can feel that person, the judgment is all haywire. This is the journey of inner transformation, not through force, but through allowing, not through analysis, but through presence. Right understanding isn't something we achieve, it's something we uncover. It has always been there, waiting beneath the noise in the quiet of a loving heart. Understanding as a shield against impressions. In the contemplative tapestry of human experience, understanding emerges not merely as an intellectual pursuit, but as a powerful, heart centered force that shapes our landscape. When we speak of preventing impressions from being formed on our subtle bodies, we point to a profound truth. Genuine understanding creates a space so clear and loving that negative patterns or biases cannot take root in us. In other words, right understanding acts as a shield against the buildup of samskars. Those subtle imprints of past thoughts, emotions, and experiences. Even simple things like not being able to grasp topics like calculus can create a deep impression that can become so scary that it can become a nightmare. Consider the difference between a child's mind, soft and impressionable, and a wise heart shaped by awareness and love. The child's mind takes on impressions effortlessly, whereas the adult, who has cultivated inner clarity, can observe life's up and down without absorbing them as binding patterns. Prevention of samskars is thus an active process. So it's not just that the impressions can just happen like that if you're not aware, if you're not spiritually vigilant. If we are active, if we follow the 3 points that are mentioned here, we can actually prevent the impressions from forming. First, recognizing the early stirrings of judgment or impatience. Being impatient, being too judgmental, forms some scars. It harms the person who is doing that, not the other situations or people. Point two, recentering in the heart so that love, not fear, guides perception. Three, releasing any residue in daily cleaning, ensuring that misunderstandings dissolve before they harden into resentment or sorrow. Often, We see understanding as the product of thought. I must first grasp you intellectually before I can truly love you. Yet deeper insight suggests the reverse. When we love, when our hearts are open, unburdened by old judgments, we naturally see the essence of another person or situation without distortion. It is like someone saying, "Let me see Krishna first, only then will I read the Gita." Love opens the eye and wisdom, then reads the text. This unfiltered seeing preempts the formation of reactive patterns and harsh impressions. If our first response is love, there is no gap through which confusion or hurt can enter. In this way, understanding is not an afterthought, but a direct emanation of love's clarity. And that is why beloved Master always says that a heart that is soft cannot be broken. The hearts that break were having ego because they were hard. Sahaj Marg experiences conclude one fundamental thing. The subtle body is the repository of our deepest conditioning. Every moment that provokes fear, anger, or judgment can leave impressions like footprints on the shoreline of our being. Negative impressions form when our heart window is clouded by ego, bias, or past hurt. When love illuminates, the mind or true wisdom grips us, or right understanding develops. They can surely prevent us from forging new layers of impurities and complexities. Hence, the practice of cleaning in the Sahaj Marg tradition has a dual function. It dissolves the existing residue in our subtle bodies and reduces the likelihood of fresh imprints taking hold. When we approach life with a heart cleared by love, new experiences do not become burdens. They simply flow through us, leaving wisdom instead of wounds. The process of cleaning must not become an avenue to escape or unfold or unload a specific impression. By doing so, our attention remains focused on what is to be removed, becoming highlighted further only to develop greater strength. So we should let the process happen. We should actively participate when we do cleaning, not like meditation, but we should let it happen and not focus on a particular complexity or impurity, trying hard to remove it. True understanding is not a static destination, but an ongoing unfolding. Each day brings fresh encounters that could, if we are unprepared, etch new layers onto our subtle body. Yet, when we cultivate the habit of pausing, reflecting, and seeing its situation through the lens of compassion, first, we resist snap judgments. Instant reaction often harden into biases. We should avoid instant judgments. Second, we allow space for another's perspective. In that space, mutual comprehension takes root. Third, we remain open. Being open means we are less likely to form rigid opinions that crystallize into entrenched impressions. Over time, this fluid, loving attitude weaves itself into the fabric of our being, keeping our inner mirror clear and receptive. Correct thinking and right understanding. Correct thinking and right understanding are not two separate phenomena, but two wings of the same bird. Love provides the warmth and softness that allows understanding to take shape. So love gives that environment where right understanding develops. A tender heart can have right understanding. When love and thought, heart and mind integrate seamlessly, first, our, our perceptions are accurate, free of projection. Second, our judgments are compassionate, aligning with reality rather than with fears or expectations. Third, our reactions do not congeal into negative impressions because the mind has been oriented by the heart's openness. The alchemy ensures that each new challenge in life becomes an occasion for growth instead of another scar on our subtle body. So, these obstacles and challenges are like the low pressure area which summers create, which helps the winds from Arabian Sea to gush in. And that is how a land has monsoon or rains, when the low pressure area is created. So when the obstacle, challenges and problems are there, a person overcomes to become, and becoming is the rain which he invites into his life, which is the results, which is the joy that is invited into life. Ultimately, the notion that understanding the situation removes or prevents impressions and encapsulates a profound spiritual vigilance. We learn to watch our inner responses just as carefully as we observe the outer world. By doing so, we keep the heart's window spotless, ever ready to receive life's light as it truly is. What a beautiful expression. Rather than through the distorted lens of old wounds. In that gentle vigilance, love and understanding intertwine. We realize that by refining our inner vision, we are not only dissolving past impressions, we are also preventing new entanglements. This is how each moment can stay fresh, expansive, and alive with possibility. Where clarity isn't something we strive to create, but something we discover is already within us, waiting patiently behind every barrier we choose to release. Such is the enduring power of right understanding and ever present potential that arises whenever we let love guide our perception, keeping our subtle bodies light, clear, and perpetually open to life's unfolding truth. With love and respect, let us scan our hearts and feel. You can also comment. Do you feel what you're feeling now inside by reading any book, any self-help book, any story? Is the feeling same or different after we read this? And you will realize that you have practically experienced what transmission is. These words of wisdom are truly and fully charged. Let us dive deep into this profound wisdom. Let us share this message because the world right now needs love and right understanding. Let us share this message on our WhatsApp, in our groups, and to whomsoever you wish that these profound wisdom and transmission and love of our beloved Revered Daaji should reach. Thank you.